Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Look, we've got some good weather coming up. Jeff and I are talking about, we're getting back to the October we love. They're talking about Saturday morning and getting into the 40s. So this is good. High today is going to be 83, low 65. That's a good sign. Water temperature is just not moving in. It's stuck on 79. We may need to go over there and check it, make sure it's just not stuck for like a week or two. It's been like that. River reading brought to you by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. The Apalachicola Bluntstown, you see where it shot up? It went up to 9 foot, and it may climb a little bit more, and that was some of the rain they had north of here. Apalachicola Bluntstown will be, just reflective of whatever those dams do all along the system. I think we counted one time, 16 or 17 dams along that system. The Choctaw Caraville, with no dams in it, it is at a 7.8, got a little bit of drop to it, dropping below 8 foot, and the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at a high tide this morning at 8:28, and then we're looking at the low tide at 4:46 this afternoon. And one of the things we were talking about today is October 14th, good tides. Now, the next couple of days we'll have some neap tides, but today's some good tides. And the wind, be a light wind today, not much. First time it's been light for a little while now. It's going to be coming out of the north, 5 to 6, and it's variable. And when you use the term variable, it's just going to be coming in a little bit different angles. It's not coming straight north like when a front comes through or something. So today, the winds will be variable. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I got some pictures here. I just get a kick out of showing some of the pictures because it just reflects exactly the things I say and what's going on now. And this first one is a classic case of it. We're talking about the mullet moving around and what we call it rolling up. Our buddy Kyle Register, y'all just ain't got a clue how good we're about to eat. It's called Yellow Gold. This is the red robe, what they call red robe mullet. It's actually gold color, like Kyle says, and you clean them up and This is what they're looking at like this time of year here in the Florida Panhandle. I don't care if it's in Choctaw Bay or Apalachicola Bay or wherever. This is what you're getting, and that roe is really, you fry that up, and I can remember my Papa Jack he used to eat that for breakfast this time of year. He eat that and grits. And I was a little kid. I didn't know what he was doing. But anyway, bring back good memories. Well, I like the jokes about the year 2020. I'm getting a lot of them. If 2020 was a hula hoop, that's pretty reflective of what's been all the bad breaks we've had here. This is St. George Island, and remember on Friday's fishing forecast, again, just showing you what the things I've been saying has really been producing. This is the cut, Bob Sykes cut, and remember I was telling you about what a good place to get out and pompano fish along the shoreline there, and also how the redfish come in from those docks and then come in around. Well, sure enough, these pictures right here come from, look at those rocks right there, and look at the redfish we're talking about. That's exactly what this past week that were caught. It's a really good place to go fishing, and it's not very heavily hit very hard. Our Tallahassee folks hit it. Tess Randall Jolly, she's the one, Tess sends a lot of the pictures in with the Opa. She's a professional photographer. I got a kick out of this. She and her husband, 12 little pigs, they have a lot of hog problems. They're at the farm up there in Alabama, up in Tuskegee, outside of Tuskegee, Alabama. And notice how she's washing them off and all. They'll get these processed, and they'll keep some of the meat, and they give a lot of the meat away to families around the area and all. So this is how you solve a hog problem. You get the pigs while they're young, and the meat's better, and you'll save a lot by doing it that way. This is really interesting to me. This is the tournament for next year, 2021. They've got it set up. This is the Alabama, Georgia, Florida. This is this area. Now, Mississippi has it, Arkansas, Tennessee. They have their different groups. Just like the bass folks, they've set this up. And the tournament, here's how they're doing it now. $100 per boat, and it's 100% payback, and it breaks down how it does it. Of course, you weigh 5 fish in. And it's once a month, starting over in the left column in January. They're going to be up at Blakely, Georgia. That's Lake Seminole. And then how about Paramore the second week in month is February. How about Paramore Boat Ramp right there in Sneeds? And Max Point, the third one, Max Point Lodge in Bainbridge. That's the old Jack Wingate. That's his old place. And then all along the Bluntstown, Sneeds about 3 or 4 times. There's Bluntstown again toward the bottom. These are all local folks. This is really, really interesting. Now look at the times. The first 3 times, the far right-hand column, they're going, that's a daytime, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. because it's really cold that time of year, 7 a.m. to 6. And then they switch it to the regular time starting on April 10th, 5 p.m., that's Friday at 5 p.m. to 10 o'clock Saturday morning. And that's all night fishing, so you can fish both ways. So anyway, check it out, the M&J Catfish Tournament, Catfish War. Okay, so that's some good stuff. We'll stay on top of that. Like I said, we have some friends fishing it. Now, one of our viewers, Carol Miller, sent some pictures. I love when you send pictures about what's going on in the backyard as far as things going on. I'm going to read this to you because this is really good. Hello. I wanted to share some pictures of box turtles around our Lynn Haven yard. We've had a turtle we call Hank hanging around since last year. Now, I love it when we get to name our little animals in the yard. That's good, Carol. Now, Hank helps us out by eating every tomato and melon that grows where he can reach it. We noticed a second smaller one joined this territory this summer, so here comes another one in. The other morning, the two were interacting, okay? What a big deer do with other deer, okay? They spar. Apparently, male box turtles can be in the same territory, but they can have aggressive displays where they're biting at each other's shells. Hank was the aggressor in this interaction, and goes on to say, Hank was not impressed and flipped the smaller turtle sort of withdrew into the shell, and so Hank flipped this one over. And then they went on, and then Hank took off, and then he left, and then the smaller turtle went out. The whole interaction took about 10 minutes. And it was, she sent me some pictures. So here are the pictures. Okay, here we go. All right, there you go. That's Hank on the right, flipping over the small turtle. And what they'll do, they'll bite. He'll start biting in the turtle, and the one on the left, he'll just stay inside. So here goes Hank. Hank starts leaving, okay? And that's some great pictures. All right, so the smaller turtle flips himself. They can flip himself back over, and then he starts crawling off. Here's a good close-up pictures. They just they have their own personality. Okay. And then she sent me another message. This guy needs a name. Hank is not afraid of us and crawls towards and past us, but this guy is a little more shy and avoids people. Okay. So I texted her back, or emailed her back, and said, we need to name this one. I said a good name would be Jeff. So Jeff, we are our own Jeff. So she sent back, okay, see, here's a close-up of it, and she talked about that sort of looks like Jeff. No, she didn't say that. And she said, here she sent back, the third turtle came up, and I like your idea of one is definitely Jeff. So our own Jeff Peck now has a turtle named after him. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. How about that, Jeff? Okay, welcome back. Let's do us a midweek dove report because I was able to talk to a couple of guys who were actually out in the field over the weekend. And Billy Grantham, he talked to him yesterday on the phone. He called, told me all kinds of things going on up there with the dove. And also got to talk to Clay Patrick, who lives on River Road up there. And he got, everybody's sort of connected as far as a buddy over here and a buddy over there. And they all talk. And these dove fields right now the word out is that the local, a lot of domestic birds, a few of them here, and I say most of the ones being shot they think are domestic birds. The big wave of migration is not here. It's been slow, is what both of them said. It's sort of been slow. It didn't start off with a bunch of, some people limit it out, like you do with sheephead and all, the opening season, you can sort of limit out on things. And some people did limit out, but most of all it's been slow. And the big thing is what they're mentioning, we really haven't had any cold fronts coming in pushing them. Now this weekend, we got this cold front coming in, that's going to push a few in. But Bill and I were talking, and he made a valid point. I didn't realize this, but I do remember him talking about it last year. His best dove shoots last year were actually in the early part of February, right at the end of dove season, because it really got cold enough, brought a lot of birds in. So it's going to be interesting to see when the top, when we sort of find out when it sort of peaks out. But last year it peaked out at the end of the season. A lot of times it's in the middle of the season. But It's according to what the cold front's doing all. So that's the report right now. Overall, slow. Local birds are in, and it's not a lot of the peanuts are sort of drying out a little bit. They're getting most of the peanuts pulled. We've got this week of good weather, and next week looks like some good weather. Okay, now over the weekend we were able to go down to the Cape and went over to St. George Island and had lunch at the Blue Parrot and enjoyed seeing the folks down there. But I want to run by Fisherman's Choice tackle store, and because they're having that black drum, that big tournament they're having. Well, they postponed the tournament because when FWC came out and opened up the snapper season, it was conflicted. So, they moved about in November now. But while I was there, if you haven't been in East Point, haven't been to that tackle store, that's just one of the old school tackle stores, and it's a go-to place for everybody. Just a really neat place, and I've been in and out of it over the years and all. This time I took my camera with me, and of course I always run into viewers and all when I go to a place like that. And we just had the best visit. So I got this little 5-minute video showing you all the good folks down there at the Fisherman's Choice Tackle Store. So Jeff, let's run this. All right, folks, we're in downtown East Point, one of the coolest places around. We're talking about coming down here to Fisherman's Choice, and we're going to go inside and just talk to them about fishing, about the tournament they're going to have. But look at all the cars, look at all the trucks here. Do you think this is a popular place? This is the real deal. This is a real tackle store. Folks, y'all know how I love to go to these tackle stores. And when I come down to East Point, we got it. This is a cool place. We've been talking about the tournament they're having. Well, introduce yourself. Tell folks who you are.
Hey, I'm Rex Pennycuff, one of the owners. Me and my father, Charles Pennycuff, here at Fisherman's Choice in East Point, Florida.
And we were talking about the tournament, and we're going to get back to it in a minute, but we ran into another fella. You tell the folks who you are.
My name's Jim Hicks, and I just live in East Point.
And but you worked there in Walton County, right?
Worked in Walton County, grew up in Shipley.
Yeah. That was a great story, and we happened to see a picture of my cousin that you happen to know. Tell that story.
I saw a picture of Curtis on your show about 2 weeks ago. Curtis and I went to school together in Pensacola, and by that afternoon, I'd hooked back up with Curtis, and we reconnected.
It's amazing what a show like that can do, though.
It was really neat.
So you retired? You and your wife retired down here?
No, my wife's still working. I'm retired.
And she's at where?
At Port St. Joe High School.
Port St. Joe High School. Got a lot of viewers over there. All right, now let's get some fishing information. What's been going on down here?
Overall, been quite a few white trout and some specks being caught out around the bridge. Weather, of course, played with it just a little bit. Sheephead been doing real good up in the river system. Live fiddler crab, of course, is a real good bait. But they'll also hit shrimp, fresh dead or froze. In the bay using a lot of fish bites and silver spoons, little greenbacks still around. Some big drum hanging around the bridges and rubble out around the oyster bars, and a few redfish. Most of them been out on the inside the island there around Bob Sight's Cut, Old Causeway. So.
Well, what about now? Speaking of drum, you set up this tournament, which I thought was really cool. We talked about it on the show, but we've had to sort of change a little bit. Tell us about that.
We changed up a little bit, had a couple conflict and things. We think it'll actually work out pretty good too, with the state extending the snapper season. The first day we was going to have it wound up being on the first day of the opening of snapper. So we've relaxed it a little bit and moved it back. Chamber come to us. There's several black drum in the area, and we have a little bit of an excess. I understand some areas don't have enough and need to regulate, but I think we got a healthy population. So we're going to have us a black tournament, just sort of help out with the oyster situation all going on. Chamber approached us and asked us if they could do something with us, and we said, yeah, let's put together. We've had a lot of people interested in it. $100 entry fee. You can go to the Apalachicola Bay Chamber and print out the the entry form, turn it in either with them or us here at Fisherman's Choice. But we're trying to generate a little bit of interest, get some people out on the water and enjoying the nature. If there's any proceeds that comes from it, we have a Low East Point Civic Association here in East Point, and we're doing some work on the cemetery, and we're hoping to provide some benches on a pavilion that we've done there. So if we raise any money, it'll go toward that project. But the main thing is just something for us in the chamber to get together and get people out enjoying the great outdoors, and we love this area. So.
Wow, you covered that great. Good job. And that thing about the drums, y'all got a lot about drum down here.
Yep.
And if they have a tournament, and people don't necessarily have to have a boat. They just go fishing off the bridge.
Yeah, they fish off the bridge, pier, you know, boat, whichever, you know. I mean, there's plenty of capability of you entering it and actually having a good chance of winning it.
I always ask the tackle guys, now what's your favorite fishing?
Me, I sort of like the brackish water around the head of the bay, fishing there in East River, St. Mark's area. Me and my dad, he loves to catch hybrids. So every once in a while I have to go put it on him a little bit, being as he ain't here to
Talk about it. Yeah, he's talking about it. All right, Adam, what about you? What's your favorite?
Offshore.
Offshore.
Offshore. We try to go every time it's less than 1 to 2. And then so I haven't been able to go much lately, but hopefully that'll change the next 3 weekends.
All right. Well, I appreciate you watching the show, and I appreciate all the good information. We love it down here, get down as much as we can. But
yes, sir. We keep tuning in. We appreciate it.
You got a little bit of everything in here.
We try to keep it. We really work at it. We've been here 27 years, and it's been a tough year, but we've managed to do pretty good. We ain't got everything, but we've done a pretty good job keeping everything in.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank y'all.
Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're down that neck of the woods, you definitely need to stop by. Tell them you saw them on Panhandle Outdoors. Good family-owned business, and they really do a lot of good stuff down there. And if you want to know what's biting and where to go, they're going to tell you. All right, let's look at Fishing Game Time, brought to us by another great tackle store, Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Looking at this morning, 9:44 to 11:44, and tonight, 10:11 to 12:11. That brings me to point two. Speaking of, we had the other day I talked about the FWC changing the flounder seasons and regulations, and some people misinterpreted. They thought I said they were doing it right now, but if you're listening closely, it wasn't on the back row. I said that this is their final proposal and will be voted on in a December meeting. I didn't say it's going to be, so it's going to be 2021, those flounder rules, if they stick together, which usually when they send out something like this, the first time they send it out, it's already wrapped up. They just got to officially stamp it, which is what I anticipate happening. But I've had a lot of people talk to them about it. A lot of people are upset about, the time they're doing it and different things. And so by all means, let your voice be heard. Get a hold of folks in Tallahassee, send them an email, tell them your thoughts and feelings on it. But anyway, that's 2021. That's what I said that on there, but some people said that it's going to happen right now. It's not going to happen now. It's 2021. Okay. Got a couple of pictures. One thing we're sort of wrapping up. I've told you recently, within the past year, we're sort of wrapping up our book sales on our final printing. And I've tried this whole journey I've been on. It's been really special, and as we come to a conclusion on it, one of the things I'm going to do is actually take a picture of the final delivery of my box of books to each place. And I made, while I was down there this weekend, I made my final delivery to in Apalachicola. I don't talk about them a lot because they sell most of their books to the Atlanta and Georgia people that come in Apalachicola. There's a little bookstore down there. It's the coolest place, a little downtown bookstore. It's not much bigger than a room here, but it's just a cool bookstore. And the owner and manager, Dale, and she's been so supportive, and when people come in looking for stuff, she would always recommend our book, and it's sold real well down there. Well, here's a picture of I'm making my final delivery down there at the little bookstore. There's Dale. I said, Dale, let's do a selfie. And so here we are right here. I said, well, listen, we're not that ugly. Let's take the mask off. And that's our final box, a full box that I've taken down there to Apalachicola. So there you go, Dale. We're proud of that, and I'm gonna make. So I've got 3 boxes left. I'm gonna make a delivery to Blue Water, get a picture with George Duran. I'm gonna make a delivery, one more delivery to C&G, get a picture of me and Ronnie and I, and then the Sunjammers, and one more box there, and that's it. So that's the last one down there. Just wanted to share that with you. Now, the other thing I want to share. Let's talk about, again, snapper season is this weekend, and a lot of folks are excited about it. It looks like it's going to be a good weekend to go. It's Saturday and Sunday. It's the last 3 weekends of October. And if you've never done much fall fishing for snapper, go offshore and all, that is just a lot of fun. You saw on the show yesterday with Steve Shea getting some of those big snappers. There will be some big snapper caught here these next 3 weekends, and we appreciate NOAA and FWC and all of the government organizations got together and decided to let us have these 3 weekends. So also we want to make sure that it's surprising that how many fish have been caught offshore. A lot of folks are catching fish, but now I'm talking about offshore, but inshore there's going to be some red snapper caught. And people asked me the other day, where do you catch them inshore? What you want to do with all electronics, find some deeper indentations. And you heard what Steve said yesterday. He fishes good hard bottom. And what you got to do in the bay has some holes out there. And some people built their own structures and all, but if you see somebody catching a lot of them, don't go fish their place. But anyway, there's some good places in the bay systems. I'm not that sure about Choctawhatchee Bay if they're catching red snapper in that bay. It's more of a shallow bay in spots and more spread out like that. San Andrew Bay has some deep holes. Apalachicola Bay has some deep holes, but I know of red snapper being caught here. So anyway, we're going to talk more about it, and we'll of course have the fishing report also. Anyway, I got to wrap it up. Really, as always, appreciate the viewership. Get a lot of feedback, and I try to answer all the emails and texts. And again, if I haven't answered it, go ahead and send it to me again. Say, Coach, you forgot to answer this, and I'll get a hold of you and try to call you back or text you back. Y'all have a great day, and always do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the fellowship with your fellow man in the outdoors. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.